So, the day of the big crossing, we packed up our tents and everything in the dark, and we're on the water pretty much first light. And it turned out to be another beautiful day. Deal Island slowly receded behind us, while Flinders looked a long way away on the far horizon, just visible through some early morning drizzle. The 40-kilometre mark, Craggy Island, passed way off to our left. As the wind picked up, we were both sailing and making good time. It would have been uncomfortable paddling if the crosswind had got much stronger, and unsailable if it swung much more towards a headwind, but it held nicely. Closer to Flinders Island, we encountered a large flock of seabirds. Fishing must have been good. The next tasks were to identify Roydon Island and then to find the hut.
Just follow the grey track now, except that we want to stay further out. So it's got to be that little lump of rock over there, I would say. Doesn't look promising from here, but all the pictures of the hut look pretty good.
Yeah. The hut proved to be elusive.
I don't know why I picked that corner. I would have thought. I don't know why I picked that corner with my track. I would have thought that I saw the hut on Google Earth. Anything? I'll get my phone out and see if we've got reception. Yeah, but we can look on Google Earth.
My phone was no use. The hut is very hard to see in Google Earth. We were very close, but it was still some time before Andrew finally spotted a ridgeline about 40 metres into the bush. There are two tracks into the hut. The northern one is better. This is part of the southern track on the day we landed. And this is the northern track filmed the next morning, being followed by a shadowy figure. The hut itself was wonderful. This is Garmin home port again, showing our predicted and paddled paths. By hugging the coastline as we left Winter Cove, we were immediately offset from our planned route by nearly 700 metres, but we were learning not to be overly concerned by this. The spreadsheet route was just a guide. For the whole morning, we stuck religiously to our planned paddle bearing of 140 degrees true, and by 11 o'clock, this had almost halved our offset from the predicted route. The drift, at every one of our hourly breaks up to this point, was 2 kilometres per hour, give or take, at a bearing between 200 and 220 degrees. Then, strangely, from the 12 o'clock waypoint onwards, there was absolutely nothing. Maintaining our paddle bearing, we started to veer further away from the planned route, and corrected for this by dropping back 5 to 10 degrees. In hindsight, we could have corrected much less, as the route was about to bend back towards us anyway. This was our only mistake for the day. From 11 o'clock onwards, we somehow gained a very welcome hour and a bit on our predicted schedule. TideTech's model shows a band of stronger current sweeping around the northern end of Flinders. I think for us, this was partly counteracted by the northeast wind, so we weren't pushed back to the north quite as much as expected. The reason for no visible drift at our afternoon breaks could be that our sails kept us moving forward. Whatever the case, we were happy with both the plan and its execution. We had completed the big crossing, the one that had looked most daunting from WA, and it had gone much more smoothly than the previous 2 crossings. To quote Bob Dylan, "What looks large from a distance, close up ain't never that big." At Roydon Hut, we took happy snaps of each other to send off to family and friends, both of us looking pretty pleased with ourselves.